massive supervolcano eruption, like the one under Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. The European Science Foundation has released a 70-page report called Extreme Geohazards, Reducing the Disaster Risk and Increasing Resilience. It references the Yellowstone supervolcano.
Northwest Wyoming, land of geysers, mountains, and lakes, is also sitting atop a supervolcano. And it just took what scientists describe as a deep breath.
The Yellowstone volcano is one of a half dozen or so tantrumy mountains that earned the title supervolcano because its eruptions can eject nearly 250 cubic miles of ash, dust, and gas. For comparison, that's about 1,000 times the volume of Mount St. Helens eruption in 1980, which was in itself a pretty big deal. But you shouldn't be surprised. Yellowstone is famous for its hydrothermal features like geysers and hot pots and fumaroles, which are all products of this volcanic hotspot, where half-melted magma swells up close to the Earth.
Swarm of earthquakes have hit Yellowstone National Park over the past week. The park is home to a massive supervolcano that could erupt at any time. So is the swarm warning us about a looming disaster. Our team's Brigitte Santos joins me live from Los Angeles with the details. So Brigitte, how many earthquakes have hit Yellowstone this week?
Natasha, the U.S. Geological Survey has tallied up over 500 earthquakes in that area in the past week. Now, this swarm began on June 12th, and it is currently ongoing. Swarms are incredibly common in this area. In fact, they account for about 50% of all of the seismic activity in Yellowstone. And these are quakes that are ranging from 4.5 in magnitude to below zero. So I'm not sure whether there's much cause for concern right now. I do want to mention that this is a supervolcano with a thick continental crust that causes large buildups of magma, and it's capable of producing a magnitude 8 eruption on the volcanic explosivity index. That means the explosion could be 2,500 times larger than the Mount St. Helens eruption in 1980, which is regarded as the largest and most deadly eruption in U.S. history.
We're talking about a sleeping Godzilla underneath Yellowstone that, if it erupts in a maximum eruption called Category 8, it could literally tear the guts out of the United States of America. Instead of having 50 states of the Union, we would only have 30 states of the Union. Now that's Category 8. This report looked at Category 7, which is much more likely once every 1,000 years rather than once every million years. That means in every century, there's a 10% chance that somewhere on the planet Earth there could be a supervolcanic Category 7 eruption. That's the danger.
Pretty scary prospect. I want to just show people what we're talking about here when we talk about this super volcano, and we have a little thing to show you, a map with some of the details. So that's where it is. It's beneath Yellowstone. It's been there, as we know. I guess it's erupted 3 times in 2.1 million years. But what they're worried about is the fact that they say that the ground has started to swell in levels that they have not seen before, 10 inches in some places in the past year. What does that tell us?
It tells us that there is activity in this supervolcano, which erupts roughly every 600 million years. But that's what's making us very nervous, because the cycle time corresponds to the present-day era. So every single murmur of this gigantic potential supervolcano, including the rise of the sea level, has to be watched very carefully.
And visitors of Yellowstone National Park have been advised to keep off the roads. That's because the heat from a supervolcano beneath the Earth's surface is melting away the asphalt. Park officials have closed the 3-mile-long roadway known as Firehole Lake Drive and have asked visitors to park on the sides of the road. Park officials warned that stepping on the seemingly solid asphalt could create an illusion, and you could quickly find yourself stepping into hot water.
Water buffalo stampede away from the sea. So maybe it's not surprising that this video was shot about 2 weeks before an earthquake measuring 4.7 rattled Yellowstone this past Sunday.
There are several major curves, or threat curves, I call them, to the people of Earth. Geophysical changes, geological changes, astronomical changes, political changes, threat of war. All these factors are playing heavily upon people's minds today. The earthquake thing, I used to be able to predict them fairly accurately, between 70 and 90% on a given week, using data from the U.S. naval facility at Fenmont over in Monterey, California. They monitor very subtle changes in the electric fields of the ocean and the air above the ocean, plus the sea surface temperature variation. And this allowed me to look at water coastlines all along the plate tectonic borders. And I determined back in 1996, when I started doing this, that you could see changes in the water surface temperature because of the electron flow over that area in the air. And it would make like a little butterfly, a yellow and blue wing type signature over where an earthquake was going to happen. And I perfected that technique over the years until 2005, when the Fenmont facility, the Navy, put up a new constellation of satellites and new programs on a new Cray computer. And they did not allow me to then access the files I had before to generate these reports. Strange enough, they were I was accurate enough that the Association of Island States, or island countries, if you wish, asked me to explain how to use it so that they could use it to predict tsunamis. Some of the information from Yellowstone Park, where we have the Yellowstone caldera, since I think it was about February of last year, the government made all of the USGS employees, truck drivers moving equipment in and out of the sensor ranges there, everybody signed non-disclosure agreements with the government, facing penalties of cash fines and also imprisonment if they told what they're doing there in Yellowstone. And we had a geologist break silence. I won't name him, but anyway, they have been running huge, high volume internet lines from their sensors all over the Yellowstone Park area down into Texas. I think they may be now switching it over to the NSA facility in Utah. One of those catastrophic supervolcanic eruptions may be, several 100,000 years between times, but what they're doing now is they're measuring the increased appearance of helium, an isotope of helium gas, which was buried way down deep underneath the Yellowstone. And when that starts to release, it means that there's geological activity down there in a deeper pool of magma, which they have recently. Well, the bottom line is we're going to see trouble with Yellowstone, and we're going to see trouble with Lake Taupo caldera down in North Island, New Zealand. Both of those are under severe stress from different types of tectonic plate movement, but they are both supervolcanoes. And Lake Taupo erupted last in 87 AD. It sent up so much ash from the southern hemisphere that the Chinese astronomers at that time recorded 3 days of darkness after the eruption down there. Now, USGS has been told not to panic people because it hurts real estate values in the economy if it gets too serious. But people who read between the lines will see that we're being warned by USGS, by drills and just kind of subtle warnings in the newspaper in California that earthquake activity and hence some volcanic activity is somewhat imminent. And they're trying to get people to gradually readjust their circumstance without causing a panic. Mind you, with all the illegals in California, I guess, if that fell into the sea, it wouldn't be a great loss, but still, you got to give them a chance. The new plasma pool they found deep down has opened up a vent to the northwest, heading toward Mount St. Helens direction. This one is a very deep vent because when the Fukushima earthquake occurred, on that day I was watching the seismic helicopters at Yellowstone, and one of them in the northwest corner picked up and rang like a bell before the normal shock wave could have even reached the United States. And that means to me that there is a direct hydrodynamic connection in the magma between Yellowstone and the western side of the North Pacific. This is what they're watching because it will be a prelude to New Madrid. It'll be a prelude to a number of other volcanoes and breaking up of the west coast. So the Yellowstone caldera is kind of a new kind of instrument in addition to being a threat.
I wanted to jump in here real quick tonight and share an email that I received from a guy that I knew a long time ago, a very trusted individual that has in certain ways risked his life for me and same as I did for him. But he sent me a very disturbing email today, and you can see right here it was 8:06 p.m. exactly, like 17 minutes ago. It took me a minute to get everything set up. I am not disclosing this individual's name on the email. It's just not going to happen. But let me read the email for you. It says, "Hello, Tom. Just wanted to take a minute to give you a heads up. I know you have been well prepared for a long time, my friend. Just so you know, it would not be a good idea to stray too far from your bunker for a while," because he knows I have a bunker set up and supplies and everything. Anyway, briefly, he says, "I will tell you that the USGS is suppressing the earthquake activity at Yellowstone Caldera from the general public. Washington is aware of this because they are the ones giving direction about this blackout. This is the reason for all the preparations made in FEMA Region 3. This is the reason they moved those nukes out of Texas in a big hurry. I heard something about that before. Okay, this is the reason," he says, "for the schools preparing 3-day kits for all the students and the FEMA coffins shipped to Hawaii and the East Coast. They thought it was all going to go with the passing of Comet Ison, and that's why they were preparing at breakneck speed on the East Coast. They are expecting millions of refugees after the eruption. They are saying the New Madrid is also waking up, and all of this is due to an increase in solar activity affecting all the fault lines in the world. You know me, friend, and I got to tell you, I'm scared to death for myself and my family, because I overheard a man say the other day that the big one is on the way." He leaves it with, "Got to go for now, friend. I hope you can survive this." He says, I know you can survive this, Tom, because as long as I have known you, you have always had a strong will to survive. I hope to join you and your family soon. Please save us a spot." And he knows that I will always have a spot for him, but this is definitely pretty disturbing, and I guess it's all coming through the State Department, USGS.
The scary part is NASA just discovered a very similar blue star. So Buddy, Mac, and Scott are headed to meet with an astronomer to find out exactly where the star is headed.
I think you're referring to HE 0437. It's an amazing object. Maybe 1 in a million, maybe 1 in a billion.
Why is it blue? Is it because of the speed?
It's blue not because of the speed, but just because it's a relatively young, massive star. So it burns hot. Hot objects look bluish. So that's not so unusual. What's unusual is that it should have died by now. It was thrown out of the Milky Way 100 million years ago, and those stars don't live that long. So how is it now, 60,000 light years out of the Milky Way, still alive?
This is an anomaly that you guys are scratching your heads over.
The best hypothesis is now, that's consistent with the data, is that a pair of stars had a close encounter with a giant black hole in the center of our Milky Way, which resulted in them being thrown out at a very high velocity. And it's been traveling out from the Milky Way for 100 million years, and in this process, it looks like the two stars merged into one star. So it's living longer than it would normally.
So maybe these blue stars do exist. What makes me uncomfortable is when the science starts agreeing with these Hopi prophecies.
If you could see the people around me, jaws have collectively dropped at what you've just said. I mean, we appreciate your candor, however, it doesn't help the rest of us, does it, or the rest of the Eurozone?
Say this, listen, I would say this to everybody who's watching this. This economic crisis is like a cancer. If you just wait and wait thinking this is going to go away, just like a cancer, it's going to grow and it's going to be too late. What I would say to everybody is get prepared. This is not a time right now to wishful thinking the government is going to sort things out. The governments don't rule the world. Goldman Sachs rules the world. Goldman Sachs does not care about this rescue package, neither does the big funds. So actually, what I would actually tell people, I want to help people. People can make money from this. It isn't just traders. What they need to do is learn about how to make money from a downward market. The first thing people should do is protect their assets, protect what they have, because in less than 12 months, my prediction is that savings of millions of people is going to vanish, and this is just the beginning. So I would say be prepared and act now. The biggest risk people can take right now is not acting.
Alessia Rastani, thank you very much for talking to us.
Do you dream about the economy at night?
I try not to.
Yeah.
Apparently what we're looking at here is the launch of the Chinese space station. There are several forms of this video out there on the net, and they all point to each other and give credit to each other, so I don't know where this initially came from. Obviously there's some Chinese, so it looks like one of the stages of the rockets coming off. More stages of the rocket coming off, I would imagine. A picture of the rocket firing, or rockets. So now we get to this view from outer space, and look at that. Blue Kachina. Is this another inconvenient planet type thing? We got YU-55 coming in here soon. Looks like some animated pics. More animated pics. Would seem to be something about telemetry. Something goes in front of the lens there. There's a star again. Might try, let me see if I can blow that up a little bit. Like I said, this video was put under several people's accounts, and I just made a widescreen version and got rid of that music. Very interesting. The lens flare you can see is towards the left. The thing on the blue would appear to be some sort of celestial object. Pictures of the Earth. Yes, there's pictures of the Earth swinging up again. Blue Kachina. Something. Blue Kachina. Is this Blue Kachina? Does that mean Red Kachina's next? Lots of interesting things in space with all the activity of Sun, YU-55, this drill, these dates. Not gloom and doom, just pointing out something I found. Very interesting, if you ask me.
You to vote on the news, and here's the winner. There's a huge, hidden, heavenly body right here in our solar system. Evidence is mounting that either a brown dwarf star or a gas giant planet is lurking at the outermost reaches of our solar system, far beyond the planet Pluto. According to the British newspaper The Independent, the object is 4 times the size of Jupiter. Experts say the presence of such a massive object could explain why a barrage of comets has been coming from that direction. Well,
November 9th, 2011, about 4:30, quarter to 5 in the afternoon. I'm in southwest Arizona, and this is day 2, filming this mysterious spot just below and to the right of the sun. I have no idea what that is. I never stake claim to what actually I think it is. I don't know what it is. However, on my video I put up yesterday, a lot of people have said that that's the blue Kachina. Well, I did not know what a blue Kachina was, so I Googled it, and sure enough, there are other people who are capturing similar pictures as this one and labeling it as the blue Kachina. Other people have said it is a planet. That's very possible. However, I don't think the planet would be visible that big anyway. And some people have said that I faked the video by filming it through my car windshield. Well, let me point out the fact that there's my car. I'm not in the car. And let me do a little walk around here, so you'll be certain I am not inside of a car. And again, there's my car. So I have no idea what that is. It could be anything really. Let me show you what a lens flare is. See those little 2 dots I got circling the sun there? That is what I consider a lens flare. And the one that's underneath the sun there, it's pretty much stationary, so I don't know what it is. You guys tell me. That flare off to the left of the sun is pretty interesting as well, isn't it? Maybe that's the coronal mass ejection, I don't know. You guys are the experts. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.
So we want to thank Guy out of Florida, 8-inch telescope. And here's why you survive. It's the best thing I've seen so far, and it's almost, basically it is the 9th now. So the idea that we'll have to see what we get tomorrow of anybody that gets anything that gets close to the moon. And as you can see, it's going in front of some of the stars in his shot of the telescope. It's an 8-inch telescope he says he's got. I don't think he said a name brand or anything like that. So I don't really need to point to it. I think you can see it, and he pointed to it a little bit. I think you'd rather off just see it going through the space there. I think he'll have a pointer going back to here in a minute. I'm not sure how long he followed it. There, he's got a pointer. You don't need to see me throwing my pointer around up there. So this is Beano Black, folks. You got some footage. It's kind of a croc that's slow, S-L-O-O, and then I don't know if it's got a W behind it or not, I can't remember, but the idea that we were sitting there watching that, like I had in an earlier video tonight, and the idea that if they were shooting from Tucson, they'll get it tonight sometime when it gets up by the moon. But them being able to shoot up there during the daytime hours, because it was daylight down there, I don't know what the hell they would have been seeing. Because as you can see right now, the only way this guy's capturing it is it's dark. And he got lucky in Florida to be able to pick it up. So I suppose it's coming in from the east, southeast. i.e. Note that the idea that I'm going to go up here and point at something, but i.e. note the movement right here of something. He's following it down there. You can't miss it. It's right in the middle of the screen down there. As he pointed, he had the pointer to that earlier, but it's kind of neat how some of the stuff pops in and out. So have some fun. Get yourself an 8-inch telescope. I might get one at somewhere. Pawn shop, something like that. Used secondhand. Good shape, something like that, or eBay or something like that. So that's his website, and we thank him. So let's play it one more time real fast. He's the first one. We had a guy, there's another guy, as a matter of fact, I'll just throw it on this video since it looks like it only took 3 minutes, and we'll hit 6 minutes coming in, coming back around. So, so that's pretty much it. So, idea that I suppose if it was hit the moon, it could do some damage, but otherwise it's just going to be pretty neat. You know, it's got some good size to it. It's going by some stars, so the idea that going by the moon is going to be noticeable. So it'll be interesting to see what we get. I'll hurry up and pop out of here. I'm going to go to Allguard. I'll go to the Fireball Network and see if we get anything there. But the idea of the Fireball didn't show anything after 12 UTC on the 8th, and that was way early. I mean, way late tonight, around 10 o'clock, 10 on Central Time. I was looking at that, so. So I'm even kind of guessing the idea of the size of this thing. And if you can pick up something like that on an 8-inch telescope out there in space, that the idea that that's a size on this thing, if you rethink about it, is the idea that I don't go for the aircraft carrier size 400 meters. I go for the 4,000 meters that the one guy said it was. So, and this guy from Carolina, you'll see in a minute, I'm going to play his. He caught it 2 hours early at 4:45, and I think it probably some kind of a relative or something. If he's actually got footage of what he got, because it would have been something that was way lower in our atmosphere and something that basically might have been an asteroid and hit the ground. Because he got it from not looking through an 8-inch telescope like this guy got this. So it's going to be interesting here. I'll show you his, and I don't mean to debunk that guy if he hasn't got what he's got, but this looks pretty legit here. So, and the tail for a few seconds and minutes here, it's this size thing here. I think NASA's really been blowing our smoke up our every orifice here, because the idea that this sure the hell looks a lot bigger than a 400 meter object in space. Okay? So let's check the guy out in Carolina's footage. Alright folks, we're going to move forward to basically, this is the still photo that he had. This is the footage that he's got. Back it up. There, this is where his footage starts. There's a still shot, and then he'll go to the video.
I had no idea I was going to get this when I went out. I just caught it by
Screw NASA. So, we'll end up finding out tomorrow. There'll be more people. So anyway, folks, it looks like he caught something. Either that or he's caught us in the milk like a fly, because it looks real. So, but it's still kind of, I don't know. We'll end up finding out. He got this in Carolina. So that's the footage I've been able to get down tonight. That's been put up on YouTube. So here's Vino Black for my standard legal disclaimer for the whole video. So we'll see if I can add something onto the end.
November 8th, 2011.
This is our friend from Arizona Public, folks. He's on YouTube, Arizona Public, and he does a real good job, and he also gets the circular up here by the sun. We'll see what else I can get here that's glitching a little bit on the play. So folks, he has caught the baby planet. Okay. He's got the baby planet. He had a welder's mask in front of it. And I gotta pause our recording to make sure that he comes playing through, alright. Okay folks, so I'm really encouraging people to go out and record the sun as much as you can if you can get a hold of welding glass, because check what he is catching here. He is getting, there's a circular there, okay folks? He is getting what we've been looking for with the shade that he had at the sun down there. And he does have the baby planet here, folks. This is not superimposed anything, okay? He actually has caught what we've been seeing down at Nehemiah Station, okay? So you can check that there out. That is awesome there. And he gets other features through here too, like here, and there was also I keep on every once in a while I've caught the circular here, and I just don't got it coming right now. Let's hit play. No, he caught the baby planet, folks. And he's also, at the beginning of the video, he's got the baby sun up here. Okay? It's 4:35. Okay? See the baby planet? The baby sun. The China got. See? Yeah. See? That's lens flare. Not this, folks. Yep. That is not lens flare. And he had the baby sun here. This is 4:35. He said he recorded it. We know that from 1 UTC to 3 UTC, and then on to like 9:35 UTC, which is 6 hours ahead of East Coast, or actually 6 hours ahead of Central time. Okay, there's that baby sun over there. And now you're also going to notice that the sun is not totally perfectly round. So anyway, folks, our buddy at Arizona Public, and dude, I apologize for your emblem, because I can't, in order to get it to play good with Java, I can't show your whole emblem, dude. So Arizona Public, we all go out to you, dude. We love this footage. This is awesome. Okay, and then you can also see here, and I'm beginning to believe that this is the object that we've seen in that the baby sun on the NASA footage, because it sure looks like it's got fast rotators around it. Now there was a circular over here. I'm trying to lean back on my chair and see if I can see it, but there's some circulars over here, and he's also catching this up here. And I apologize, folks, but it's like somebody's screwing around with Java or something like that. It's if they know that screencast or some kind of feedback that they're getting, and then they can go ahead and screw around with it because it's screwing up the feed here on playing it. I've got it playing and it won't play right now. It's just locked up. Let me play with it some more. So here we go. It unlocked. So we really want to thank Arizona Public here. And as you can see, folks, either that there or they're chemtrailing. Okay? Because either they're chemtrailing here, that there, they're either chemtrailing, or the idea that that's part of the asteroid belt that we've seen up there by the sun. Okay? But we've always seen that up high, I thought, you know, but that could be part of what we've seen in some of the space footage that we had. This is Vino Black, and I'm sure I'm glad Arizona Public, and I'm going to get a hold of Arizona Public and thank him for the footage and show him that basically, I guess I'm subbing, I guess, or something like that, but standard YouTube license. So the idea that just when we want to get this out there, and you can see that he has got one of the suns, and like Alraf and the supergiant suns and everything like that back, because that is the baby planet, folks. That simple. I'm better off just to run the cursor here and go backwards through it, sitting at about 40 seconds left, and folks, he's got the baby planet. You can't superimpose in a video like that, moving along like that, and it's just straight out, it's there. It is the baby planet. He showed us the sun flare. He's definitely got some filming abilities, because he was able to show the word that's, you know, show flares, and that's not a flare, folks. That is the baby planet. Always watch into my videos, folks. Here it is. Bam, there it is. There's circular right here with the one in the center, folks, right here, and then in the center. So check that out.